The narrative begins within the sterile, quiet environment of a hospital room, where the male-led Ming Chen is revealed to be recuperating. As the powerful CEO of a major corporation, his vulnerable state presents a striking contrast to his usual commanding presence. The scene is interrupted by the entrance of the female protagonist, Lu Feng, who has arrived carrying a bottle of water for him. Stirring from his rest, Ming Chen opens his eyes and, upon recognizing his visitor, softly instructs her to approach his bedside. Lu Feng complies, stepping forward only to immediately preempt any gratitude. She firmly states that her actions were a basic human response to witnessing someone in peril, adding that she would have offered identical assistance to a stray animal. Defying her pragmatic explanation, Ming Chen suddenly draws her near and kisses her. A shocked and furious Lu Feng instantly recoils, pushing him away with force. Her voice trembles with indignation as she confronts him, declaring his actions a severe violation for which she could pursue legal action. Unfazed, Ming Chen reveals his true intention, to propose a highly unusual arrangement. He expresses a desire to kiss her daily, presenting this as the basis for a formal pact. He boldly offers her anything she desires in exchange, insisting they formalize a kiss contract. As a bewildered Lu Feng attempts to leave, he prevents her exit, pressuring her to name her price. The narrative then transitions into a flashback, providing vital context. We see Lu Feng, filled with hopeful anticipation, on her way to a job interview at Ming Chen's corporation. Meanwhile, inside his office, Ming Chen consults with his physician. The doctor voices alarm over his patient's unstable medical condition, advising against public appearances. Ming Chen counters with corporate logic, stating that his 6-month absence risks spawning damaging rumors about his death. He then asks the dire question of how much time he has left. The physician can offer no certainty, revealing the prognosis could range from months to mere hours. Simultaneously, Lu Feng's interview is underway. The interviewer is her friend, Bing, a director at the company. A unique test requires candidates to taste wine and provide a written analysis. Lu Feng passes this challenge. As she prepares to leave, Bing approaches her privately. While congratulating her on passing the test, Bing regretfully informs her that her formal qualifications do not meet the position's requirements, and as a friend, she cannot go against company rules to help her. Following this disappointing news, Lu Feng is understandably dejected. Concurrently, journalists arrive eager to interview the elusive CEO. To evade them, Ming Chen instructs a friend to act as a decoy by wearing his clothes. The plan initially works and the media chases the impersonator. Seizing this opportunity, Ming Chen attempts a discreet exit, but his failing health betrays him and he is spotted. In a desperate bid for privacy, he retreats into a restroom. By coincidence, Lu Feng is in the same washroom, upset over her failed interview. Startled, she yells at him to leave. Ming Chen calmly points out she is in the men's room. Embarrassed, Lu Feng apologizes and moves to exit, but before she can, Ming Chen collapses, losing consciousness. A panicked Lu Feng calls for help, but when no one arrives, she administers emergency mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Her efforts are successful, and Ming Chen regains consciousness. She then assists him and ensures he is transporting to a hospital. Returning to the present in the hospital room, Ming Chen reiterates his proposition to a resistant Lu Feng, pressing her to consent to the contract. She firmly refuses and departs. After she leaves, Ming Chen's doctor returns and urges rest. To the doctor's astonishment, Ming Chen claims to feel perfectly fine, brimming with energy. Puzzled, the doctor asks what happened and whom he met. Ming Chen recounts the restroom incident, how a woman's kiss revived him after he fainted. He reveals he kissed her again in his room to test a theory and felt completely recovered. The doctor, skeptical, posits a hypothetical explanation. Perhaps a unique enzyme from the woman triggered his recovery, or it was a coincidence. Ming Chen reflects on consulting countless international specialists with no cure and resolves to await his fate in solitude. His loyal friend Li, overhearing, vows to find the girl and immediately leaves to locate Lu Feng. The next scene finds Lu Feng working at a wine store. She messages her boyfriend, Na, asking if his exam results are out and assuring him they will be together regardless. Receiving no reply, she assumes he failed again. Unbeknownst to her, Ming Chen's friend Li is surveilling her. He approaches under the guise of a wealthy customer, demanding the most expensive wine. After she provides it, he abruptly asks if she is single. She defensively replies that she has a boyfriend and questions his right to ask. Just then, she gets a call from Na, who confirms his failure. Lu Feng offers consolation. Na then asks to meet, stating he wants to introduce her to the most important person in his life. Interpreting this as a proposal, Lu Feng agrees. However, at the meeting, Na arrives with another woman whom he introduces as his fiancée. A stunned Lu Feng says she thought he would introduce his mother. Na coldly explains their 3-year relationship was a mistake of his youth and he never loved her. A heartbroken Lu Feng condemns his shamelessness, highlighting her years of support. As Na's fiancé begins to argue, Ming Chen and Li arrive. Ming Chen immediately defends Lu Feng, issuing an ultimatum: apologize within 3 seconds or he will call the police. Intimidated, the couple offers a hurried apology and leaves. Later, a devastated Lu Feng is drowning her sorrows in alcohol. Ming Chen finds her and she, inebriated, thanks him for his help, proclaiming her loyalty and vowing to return the favor. As Ming Chen moves closer, she slurs a warning that he cannot kiss her again, as that is for a relationship and she has no interest in dating. Ming Chen assures her dating is not his objective and offers to drive her home. She insists she can manage alone but promptly faints. Ming Chen carries her home. When she awakens disoriented, she fails to recognize him and demands to know who he is. He asks if she remembers him, prompting her to recall him as the man who kissed her without permission. As he prepares to leave, she stops him, complaining of nausea and pleading for help to the washroom. He carries her there, but they accidentally kiss again in the process. The next morning, Lu Feng is astonished to see Ming Chen moving into the apartment opposite hers. He approaches, asking if her headache is better and if she remembers him. She confirms she does and acknowledges his help. Ming Chen informs her he is her new neighbor and hopes they can be cordial. Lu Feng accepts this calmly and leaves for work. At the store, a colleague asks if she's all right after the previous night. Lu Feng assumes this refers to her breakup, but the colleague clarifies, revealing he came to her home and witnessed a man kissing her while she was unconscious and unable to consent. This is a misunderstanding of the accidental kiss. Meanwhile, Ming Chen is with his doctor, who is amazed that his latest medical reports are normal and directly asks if he kissed the girl again. This triggers a flashback. After the accidental kiss, Lu Feng vomited, soiling their clothes. Ming Chen had diligently cleaned her up and put her to bed. It was during this act that her colleague saw them and misinterpreted the situation, calling the police. When officers arrived, Ming Chen explained he was a neighbor helping. To prove it, he immediately called his friend and purchased the apartment opposite hers on the spot, obtaining the access code to verify his address to the authorities, who then left satisfied. In the final segment, Lu Feng returns home and thanks Ming Chen for his help. Noticing his health seems slightly worse again, she demonstrates her gratitude by going to his apartment, preparing restorative soup for him and feeding it to him. She then anxiously asks how it tastes. Ming Chen replies, "For the very first time, I decided to try this drink, and to my surprise, it actually tastes pretty good. While sipping, I can't help but think about how I'm being treated. I wonder aloud whether this is how you interact with everyone. Perhaps this easygoing kindness is the reason others take advantage of you so often." Luong then defends herself, saying that she has been a good girlfriend in her past relationships. She insists that she hasn't wronged anyone and feels no sorrow over what was said about her. Soon afterward, she leaves for her home. Once she is gone, Ming Chen sits quietly, lost in thought. He asks himself what kind of girl she really is and whether she is someone he should truly pursue a relationship with. The scene then shifts. Lu Feng is outside with her friend, happily eating ice cream. While chatting, her eyes fall upon posters of her idol Philip. With great excitement, she tells her friend that if Philip ever comes to China, she will definitely seize the chance to meet him in person. Meanwhile, Ming Chen's doctor is meeting with him. The doctor informs him that although his condition seems stable for now, the relief won't last. Over time, his strength will fade again because the strange effect caused by the kiss works only for a single day, exactly 24 hours. With that explanation, the doctor takes his leave. Afterward, Ming Chen's friend Li asks him how he plans to persuade Luong to kiss him every single day in order to maintain his health. Later, Luong is busy working at the wine store when Ming Chen suddenly appears, holding flowers. He thanks her for caring for him the day before and tells her that he would like to treat her to dinner as a gesture of gratitude. She agrees, and soon the two of them are sharing a meal together. During dinner, Luong candidly tells him that she is older than he is, and that his financial background makes them very different. She warns him not to waste money on her, reminding him that even though he comes from a wealthy family, that wealth is not his own, he hasn't earned it. Ming Chen, however, counters this by asking who told her he hadn't earned any money on his own. Luong laughs and says he looks far too young to have worked much, guessing that he graduated from high school only a few years earlier. Ming Chen then gently touches her face, telling her her eyes are beautiful, though he remarks that her way of perceiving people is rather unusual. Uncomfortable with the closeness, Luong pushes him away and walks off. In another scene, Ming Chen prepares carefully before another dinner with her. Wanting to confess his feelings, he had even written down pickup lines in advance. During their conversation, he teasingly remarks that maybe she has gained some weight. Surprised, Luong denies it. He then replies, "If not, then why does my heart feel so heavy?" She stares at him in confusion, not understanding what he means. He presses further, asking why she has done this to him. Bewildered, Luong demands to know what he is talking about. Ming Chen finally blurts out that she has made him fall for her. Realizing he is rambling, he scolds himself internally for not being straightforward. At last, he gathers courage and directly tells her that he wants to date her. Luong bursts into laughter, saying he must have been watching too many TV dramas to be speaking this way. She coldly adds that she has no plans to date anyone at present, since her full attention is on her career. The focus then shifts again. Lu Feng's beloved idol Philip, whose real name is Tyne Ren, is revealed to be the second male lead of this drama. He is also, importantly, Ming Chen's older brother. Around the same time, an employee reports to Ming Chen that although they sent an invitation to Tyne Ren as instructed, he refused it. The employee explains that Tyne Ren is currently staying at a hotel. After the employee leaves, Ming Chen's sister enters and confronts him about his health. She points out that his illness has not been cured and his condition keeps getting worse. She urges him to consider selling the company. Ming Chen, however, says that with Tyne Ren back, perhaps it would be best if his brother took over after his death. His sister becomes emotional and refuses to let him give up so easily. She insists that if the current doctors cannot help, they will find other ways. Not long after, Lu Feng attends the opening ceremony of an event hosted by the Ding Group. She samples wines there and happens to sit next to Tyne Ren, though she does not realize at first that he is her idol. As she tastes the wine, she describes its flavors and qualities in detail, impressing him greatly. An employee then approaches Tyne Ren and addresses him as Mr. Philip. Hearing that name, Lu Feng is stunned and asks if he truly is Philip. He confirms his identity before going off to deliver his speech. Ming Chen, meanwhile, watches his brother's speech online. Afterward, Tyne Ren approaches Lu Feng again and praises her wine-tasting skills. Knowing she aspires to be a master of wine, he offers to send her an invitation to a master class and asks for her contact details. Overjoyed, she quickly gives him her information. As Tyne Ren prepares to leave, his sister intercepts him. He tries to walk away, but she stops him, reminding him that no matter what, she is still his sister. Tyne Ren coldly asks what she wants from him. She pleads with him, pointing out that he has been abroad for 10 long years without contacting the family. Now that he is back, she begs him to return home, insisting the house is full of memories. Tyne Ren refuses firmly, telling her that his return is only for business. He advises her to focus on her own responsibilities and leaves. Meanwhile, Lu Feng's roommate, Xiaoyu, gushes about how handsome the CEO of the zoo group is. She even shows Lu Feng his photo. Shocked, Lu Feng realizes that the man in the photo is the very same person living across the street from them. Surprised, she wonders aloud if he is truly the CEO of such a massive company. Later, both girls visit Ming Chen's house. Xiaoyu asks him directly whether he is the CEO of the zoo group, and Luong adds that he looks too young to hold such an important position. Ming Chen denies being the CEO and claims instead to be Tyne Ren's younger brother. His friend supports this story, explaining that Ming Chen has just returned from abroad and is deliberately keeping a low profile to avoid attracting media attention. The girls believe the explanation and leave. In the following scene, Luong goes to the bus stop to welcome her grandfather, who has come to stay with her for a few days. At the same time, Ming Chen speaks privately with his sister, asking if she went to see Tyne Ren. She tells him yes, explaining that Tyne Ren is currently staying with the Ding family and shows no concern for them. Ming Chen advises not to force him, saying that since the two families are close, his brother will come around when he chooses. Soon after, Luong's grandfather takes her to meet a boy on a blind date, who happens to be her childhood friend. Bored with his dull conversation, Luong secretly messages her friend, asking to be rescued. Elsewhere, Ming Chen's friend teases him, reminding him that he still hasn't managed to get a kiss from Luong. Ming Chen admits that she sees him as a child and has rejected him repeatedly. His friend jokes that if Luong doesn't kiss him soon, Ming Chen could die, so he might have to sacrifice himself. He leans in and jokingly kisses Ming Chen. Right at the moment, Xiaoyu walks in and witnesses the awkward scene. Meanwhile, Luong's friend suggests taking everyone out to relax after lunch. Just then, Ming Chen appears and confronts Luong, demanding to know why she is secretly dating someone else when she promised to always love him. Shocked, her grandfather immediately asks who he is. Ming Chen boldly replies that he is Luong's boyfriend. Later, the three of them go out together. Her grandfather insists on taking photos with the young couple, asking them to stand close and make a heart shape with their hands. Before leaving, he entrusts Luong's care to Ming Chen, who promises to look after her. In the next scene, Ming Chen's sister notices his cheerful mood and asks what has made him so happy. He claims it is because the company affairs are running smoothly, but his sister is unconvinced and tells him that there must be another reason for his sudden joy. When Ming Chen's sister notices how cheerful he looks, she asks why he seems so happy. He smiles and replies that he has discovered a new kind of treatment for his illness. Yet inwardly he reminds himself that Lu Feng has not agreed to give him the kisses he needs, so it would be inappropriate to reveal everything to her right now. After thinking for a moment, he decides instead to take her out and show her a newly introduced wine. Meanwhile, Lu Fang is on her way to work at the store, but she's already running late. At that moment, Ming Chen offers her a ride, telling her he can get her there faster. After hesitating briefly, she agrees and the two leave together. Once inside the car, Ming Chen begins driving quickly, weaving through traffic. He delivers her just in time. Out of breath, Lu Fang scolds him, saying she was terrified by how fast he was driving. He calmly explains that she only had 10 minutes left, and if he hadn't sped up, she would have arrived late. He adds with a grin that this was her very first ride with him, which is why she felt afraid, but next time she will surely be used to it. Hearing this, she laughs softly and admits that although she had thought of him as a child, his driving skills really are impressive. She then gets out of the car to head toward the store, but suddenly she twists her ankle. Ming Chen immediately offers to carry her, reminding her that he has done so before. Lu Fang quickly refuses, saying she isn't that weak and can walk on her own. Later inside the shop, Lu Fang's colleague Xiang approaches and delivers troubling news. Their biggest client, Mr. Chen, has cancelled his order, which means that the entire team might not receive their salaries this month. He sternly warns her to avoid any mistakes, then walks away. Just then, a disgruntled customer storms up to Lu Fang, accusing her of having sold him counterfeit wine. He insists the bottle was extremely expensive and demands not only a refund, but also 10 times the purchase price in compensation. Shocked, Lu Fang tries to explain that their shop never sells fake wine and that there must be some misunderstanding. The man raises his voice, shouting that he clearly remembers her as the seller. He then declares that the compensation must come from her personally, not from the store. At that tense moment, Ming Chen arrives. He firmly tells the man they will resolve the matter, but warns him never to touch Lu Fang again. The customer then calls other people over, loudly claiming that the girl tricked him and that she has now called her boyfriend to threaten him. Calmly, Ming Chen snaps a photo of the man and secretly sends it to his friend, asking for an investigation. He then confronts the man, accusing him of planting counterfeit wine himself in order to frame Lu Fang. Soon Xiang calls the police, who arrive quickly and arrest the dishonest customer. Relieved, Lu Fang thanks Ming Chen for protecting her. He then asks for her phone number and hands her his own, telling her to call him directly if she ever faces such trouble again. As they walk together afterward, Ming Chen asks why she didn't speak up more strongly in her own defense when she was being accused. Lu Fang answers quietly that she really needs this job. Ming Chen argues that self-respect is just as important as survival. She shakes her head and replies that people in her position have no choice but to compromise their dignity in order to keep working. Ming Chen looks at her seriously and says, "If you allow me, I can make your entire future far more comfortable." Offended, Lu Fang snaps back, asking if he is trying to buy her. He quickly denies that, explaining that he simply wants to help her achieve her dream. She rejects him firmly, saying she doesn't want assistance. She intends to succeed through her own effort. That evening, Ming Chen returns home and shares the day's events with his friend Li. Li asks if he has started to truly like Lu Fang. Ming Chen admits he isn't sure, but whenever he is with her, he feels deeply happy, as though he is reliving the carefree days of his childhood when his parents were still alive. Li reflects aloud that at first, he had encouraged Ming Chen to date her just to keep himself alive, but now he realizes that Ming Chen genuinely needs her presence in his life. The next morning, Lu Fang is preparing to leave for work when her landlord arrives to collect the overdue rent. Unfortunately, she doesn't have enough money to pay. Just then, Ming Chen shows up and immediately covers the rent on her behalf. Embarrassed, she promises to pay him back as soon as possible. He smiles faintly and says he doesn't want money in return, he wants something else. Stepping closer, he explains that what he asks for is only one night of her time. Shocked, Lu Fang accuses him of being indecent and calls him disgusting. Ming Chen quickly reassures her not to misunderstand. He promises he would never cross a line. He simply wants her companionship for one night. After some thought, she reluctantly agrees. Later that day at the library, Lu Fang is pulling out books when she slips. Just in time, Philip, her idol, whose real name is Tyne Ren, catches her in his arms. She blushes and quickly tells him that she intends to participate in the competition he is organizing. She even confesses that he has always been her idol. Wanting to thank him, she invites him to dinner. During their meal, she serves him a special wine, which he praises highly. They share a thoughtful conversation about wine, and Tyne Ren listens with genuine interest. Afterward, Lu Fang returns to her job, where her supervisor gives excellent news. Their client Mr. Chen has renewed his order, and as a reward, the boss has approved a bonus for the staff. Overjoyed, her colleagues immediately plan a celebratory party for the evening. But as they are about to leave, Ming Chen suddenly appears, reminding Lu Fang of their agreement for that night. He insists that her time belongs to him. Trying to free herself, she offers him her entire bonus, telling him to cancel the deal. He refuses, saying such an arrangement cannot be broken. She then suggests he accompany her to the party instead. At the celebration, her co-workers are curious about the handsome man she has brought with her. When they ask who he is, Lu Fang hurriedly says he is just her neighbor. At the same time, Ming Chen boldly announces that he is her boyfriend. Flustered, she laughs and tries to pass it off as a joke. The group then begins playing Truth or Dare. When Lu Fang chooses Truth, a colleague asks if she likes someone. She responds no. When it's Ming Chen's turn, he selects Dare and is challenged to kiss someone in the room. Slowly, he approaches Lu Fang, takes her hand and leans in. Her eyes flutter shut, expecting the kiss. But at the very last second, he pulls back, questioning whether he is simply toying with her. He leaves abruptly, leaving Lu Fang embarrassed in front of everyone. That night at home, she vents her frustration to her roommate Zairoyu, saying that Ming Chen humiliated her by leaving halfway. At the same time, Ming Chen's doctor asks him why he missed such an opportunity. Ming Chen insists that he cannot just treat her as a game. He only sought kisses to survive, but now he feels conflicted. The doctor presses him, asking if he truly likes her. Ming Chen admits he doesn't know, but he can no longer simply lie to himself. On the other side, Lu Fang is restless. She can't stop thinking about Ming Chen and wonders if he is serious about her. Why did he retreat instead of kissing her? Why is she so distracted by thoughts of him? That night, she even dreams of Ming Chen kissing her, but in the dream he cruelly laughs, saying he was only joking. She wakes up unsettled, telling herself she cannot trust such a young man so easily. Next morning, Ming Chen's friend Li visits his house. When he leaves, he forgets to turn off the gas stove. Later, as Lu Fang is walking out of her own home, she smells gas leaking from Ming Chen's apartment. Alarmed, she rushes inside, opens all the windows and turns off the gas. She finds Ming Chen lying unconscious. Quickly, she places a cool cloth on his forehead and checks his breathing. Suddenly, he stirs and regains consciousness. Smiling weakly, she says, "See, I'm a good person. I came here to help, so don't misunderstand me." Ming Chen, still weak, asks her to sit beside him. Then, looking at her seriously, he asks what she truly wants to achieve with her career. Without hesitation, Lu Fang answers that she plans to participate in the contest organized by her idol Philip. When someone asks Lu Fang whether she knows a certain person, she replies honestly that of course she does. Everyone in the wine field knows him, since he is a respected expert. Ming Chen nods and reminds her not to undervalue herself. Lu Fang admits that her chances of success in the upcoming competition are slim, and she worries about losing. But Ming Chen gently reassures her, saying she shouldn't underestimate her own abilities. He insists that he believes in her completely, and that she is capable of achieving much more than she realizes. Hearing these encouraging words makes Lu Fang smile with genuine happiness. That night, however, she dreams again of Ming Chen leaning in to kiss her, a vision so vivid it makes her heart beat faster. Just as the dream becomes more intense, her roommate Zairoyu's phone call jolts her awake, ending the fantasy abruptly. In another scene, Ming Chen goes to meet his younger brother, Philip. But instead of a warm reunion, Philip greets him with a cold and dismissive attitude. Ming Chen asks him when he will return home, reminding him that family is waiting. Philip scoffs and replies bitterly, questioning when Ming Chen ever started caring about him. He reminds him that when he left the family years ago, he had vowed never to return. Ming Chen insists that this is his family too, and stresses that the company desperately needs him. Yet Philip, uninterested, ignores his words and walks away, leaving Ming Chen standing there in silence. Meanwhile, Lu Fang throws herself completely into preparation for her competition. She studies wine tasting techniques tirelessly, practicing again and again with determination. Finally, the long-awaited day of the event arrives. Dressed neatly, she enters the competition hall filled with both excitement and nerves. Among the other participants is her so-called friend Bai Bing, who is also competing. Unknown to Lu Fang, Bai Bing decides to cheat. When Lu Fang briefly steps away, Bai Bing slyly pours grape juice into the bottle of wine she has prepared. During the evaluation, this sabotage ruins the taste, and as a result, Lu Fang ends up losing. Heartbroken, she feels completely devastated and ashamed. The following day, overwhelmed with disappointment, Lu Fang quits her job. Returning home, she tells her grandfather that she wants to leave everything behind and return to her hometown permanently. Soon after, she contacts movers to help transport her belongings. But when they arrive, they demand an outrageous fee, far beyond what was agreed upon. Frustrated, Lu Fang argues heatedly with them. At that critical moment, Ming Chen shows up. Concerned, he asks where she is going. Lu Fang explains, her voice heavy, that she has quit her job and is heading back to her village for good. Ming Chen immediately interrupts her, declaring firmly that she is not going anywhere. Turning to the movers, he orders them to put all her luggage back inside the house and offers to pay them double for their trouble. Afterward, Ming Chen takes Lu Fang with him to his place, where he begins playing cartoons on the screen. Confused, she asks why he is showing her children's programs at a time like this. Ming Chen smiles and tells her that even if she loses once, she must keep trying. Lu Fang shakes her head hopelessly, admitting that she has no future left. She's quit her job, she has no stability, and she feels like a complete failure. Yet she adds softly that at least Ming Chen understands her better than anyone else. He immediately counters, saying she is not a loser at all, she simply needs another chance. Pretending he needs to use the bathroom, Ming Chen secretly steps out to make a phone call. He instructs his assistant to arrange an entry-level position for Lu Fang at his company. Later, when Lu Fang hears that she has been offered a job as an assistant, she rushes to tell Ming Chen the good news. He advises her to accept without hesitation, assuring her that starting as an assistant will open paths for promotions in the future. Taking his advice, she accepts and begins her new work. Once inside the company, however, Bai Bing, who holds the position of director, becomes envious upon learning that Lu Fang has been hired. From that point on, Bai Bing tries multiple times to create traps that might get Lu Fang dismissed, but Lu Fang refuses to give up. She endures the pressure, works diligently, and gradually earns recognition. Her perseverance pays off when she is promoted and becomes a permanent employee. Overjoyed, her friends suggest celebrating, and the four of them go out together for a lively party. The following evening, while walking home after work, Lu Fang senses someone trailing behind her. Alarmed, she whirls around and instinctively sprays pepper spray into the figure's eyes, only to realize in horror that it is Ming Chen. Startled, she asks him why he was following her. He explains calmly that he wasn't stalking her. Recently, there have been incidents of stalkers in the area, and he was simply trying to protect her. Realizing her mistake, Lu Fang feels guilty and apologizes, promising to get him eye drops immediately. She runs off toward a distant pharmacy, leaving Ming Chen behind. As Ming Chen waits, their friends Li and Xiaorou arrive. Meanwhile, on her way back with the medicine, Lu Fang truly becomes the target of a stranger. This time it is no misunderstanding, the stalker follows her persistently. Frightened, she begins to run, but the pursuer keeps close behind. Out of breath, she finally stops and pleads for him to go away, promising not to involve the police. Unfortunately, she stumbles and falls into a construction site. The stalker flees elsewhere, leaving her trapped and terrified. At the same time, Ming Chen suddenly clutches his chest, feeling severe pain, but insists they must find Lu Fang immediately, fearing she could be in danger. Meanwhile, down in the construction site, Lu Fang trembles. She wonders despairingly how she will escape and thinks regretfully that she hasn't confessed her true feelings to Ming Chen yet. She vows that if she survives, she will tell him everything. Just then, she hears his familiar voice calling her name. She cries out, and soon Ming Chen finds her. He stretches out his hand, but in the effort, he collapses down into the site with her. His condition worsening, Ming Chen breathes heavily and begs her to kiss him quickly. Shocked, Lu Fang asks if he is still thinking about such things at a moment like this. But before she can finish, Ming Chen leans forward and kisses her himself. Gasping, he then whispers desperately, "Promise me you won't ever go far from me. Stay close where I can see you and let me kiss you whenever I wish." Overwhelmed, Lu Fang agrees to all his requests. He kisses her again, and suddenly renewed energy floods through his body. With strength regained, the two manage to climb out together. The next day, Lu Fang wakes in a hospital bed. Opening her eyes, she sees Ming Chen sitting near her, and the memories of the previous night return to her mind. She thinks to herself that perhaps they are finally a couple now. Just then, Ming Chen stirs awake. She quickly asks if he is all right, worried he might have been injured. He shakes his head and says he has something important to tell her. Excited, she replies that she too has something she wants to confess, but urges him to speak first. Ming Chen grows serious, telling her not to put herself in danger again. He admits that if anything had happened to her, he wouldn't have been able to go on living. Touched, Lu Fang smiles and promises to be careful. Then he asks her what she had wanted to say. She hesitates, wondering how best to express her feelings. Should she tell him it was love at first sight, or admit she slowly fell for him? Before she can decide, Ming Chen interrupts gently, telling her to rest for now, and leaves the room. After he is gone, Lu Fang begins practicing aloud how she might confess her love. At that very moment, Xiang, Li and Xiaorou arrive, and to their surprise, they overhear her rehearsal. She doesn't notice them as she whispers her confession, admitting her love for Ming Chen. Just then, Ming Chen himself appears and asks why they are all lingering outside instead of going in. Flustered, Lu Fang realizes they have all heard her practice. Li quickly tells Ming Chen that she was rehearsing a proposal to him. Hearing this, Ming Chen feels secretly delighted, and later decides to plan a proper dinner where he can tell her his own feelings. Soon after, Ming Chen's elder sister arrives. She says that Xiang has told her Lu Fang may be the key to saving his life. Smiling, she tells him she has no objection to their relationship if the girl truly helps him. Ming Chen replies seriously that he doesn't love Lu Fang for survival's sake, he genuinely likes her. His sister is pleased but asks whether Lu Fang knows the truth about his illness. He admits she does not, but now that they are together, he intends to tell her. His sister advises caution, explaining that women think differently and she may not accept such a heavy truth right away. The following day, Ming Chen and Lu Fang exchange playful text messages. Later, while at work, Lu Fang receives a call from him asking her to meet at a restaurant that evening. Excited, she plans for the meeting. On her way, she stops by a shop to pick something up where she unexpectedly runs into Philip. He immediately asks why she lost the competition and how she could forget his favorite wine. Lu Fang insists that she didn't forget, she had prepared that very wine for the contest. Surprised, Philip says he never even got to taste it. He wonders aloud whether someone tampered with her bottle. Curious, he asks her to bring the wine again so he can taste it and see what was added. Realizing she is running late for Ming Chen, Lu Fang quickly sends him a message saying she will be delayed. Ming Chen replies that he will wait for her patiently. Together, she and Philip experiment by mixing different juices with the wine. Finally, Philip identifies grape juice as the foreign element. He urges her to think carefully about who might have added it. In her heart, Lu Fang begins to suspect Bai Bing, but she chooses not to reveal her suspicions to Philip just yet. Luong apologizes to Philip and says, "I'm sorry, but I'm running late. I need to go, I have a date." Philip looks at her with curiosity and asks, "Are you meeting your boyfriend?" Luong shakes her head with a small smile. "Not exactly, he's not officially my boyfriend yet." Just then her phone rings, it's Minjin calling. In a slightly impatient but playful tone he says, "How much longer will you make me wait? Come quickly." Luong laughs and replies, "I'm on my way." After hanging up, she turns to Philip and politely adds, "If you don't mind, one day I'll introduce you to him properly." Philip nods and says, "All right, but before that, tell me, what's his name?" Luong answers honestly, "His name is Tyne Ren. He's the youngest son of the Zhu family. He was sent abroad when he was very young and only recently returned." Philip freezes in surprise. "Are you certain? His name is really Tyne Ren?" "Yes," Luong confirms. "Why do you know him?" Philip's expression softens into a knowing smile. "Yes, I know him very well, we're very close." Then, almost as if struck by an idea, he adds, "Luong, I've been thinking, you should become my assistant. That way you can learn more about wine directly from me." Overjoyed, Luong replies, "Really? That would be amazing, thank you." She then excuses herself and rushes off to meet Minjin. At the restaurant, she finds him waiting and greets him apologetically. "I'm sorry I'm late, are you angry?" Minjin shakes his head with a calm smile. "No, I'm not upset, sit down." Excitedly, Luong begins sharing her news. "I have such good news. On my way here, I ran into Philip. He told me the reason I lost the competition wasn't because of my lack of ability, but because someone cheated. He also invited me to be his assistant so I can join his master class. He even said I'm his special choice." Minjin congratulates her warmly, though his smile falters when she continues. "He also told me that the two of you are very close." Minjin grows more serious. After a pause, he asks, "Luong, can I ask you something? No matter what happens in the future, will you always choose me? Will you always stay by my side?" Without hesitation, Luong nods. "Yes, of course, I'll only choose you." Relieved, Minjin takes out a bouquet of flowers. Holding them out to her, he asks softly, "Then will you be my girlfriend?" Luong gasps in surprise. Are you confessing to me?" He nods with sincerity. "Yes, and I want you to promise that no matter what happens, you won't leave me." Then, without waiting for more words, he leans forward and kisses her. The following day, Philip formally makes Luong his assistant and brings her into his class. Bai Bing is also there, and upon noticing Luong, her face twists with anger. Later, Bai Bing corners her privately and sneers, "How did you trick Philip into choosing you? You don't have any talent, you lost the competition. Clearly, you must have used some scheme to get into his class." Luong glares back, refusing to be intimidated. "I know very well why I lost that competition. You sabotaged me by adding grape juice to my wine. Don't pretend you don't know what you did." Bai Bing looks away, feigning innocence. "I don't know what you're talking about." That evening at Luong's house, Minjin shows up with a thoughtful gift. He hands her a box and says, "I bought these shoes for you. Please wear them every day, they'll keep you comfortable." Luong smiles and agrees, "All right, I'll wear them." The next day at the company event where Philip is the guest of honor, he presents Luong with a pair of elegant high heels. Embarrassed, she protests, "These are too expensive. I can't accept them." But Philip insists, I give shoes to all of my assistants, you have to accept them. Reluctantly, she takes the heels. When the event begins, Philip notices she's still wearing the shoes Minjin gave her. Why aren't you wearing the heels I gave you? You're my assistant, you'll be going on stage with me. Change into them quickly. Obligingly, Luong does as he asks. During the event, Philip gives a speech in which he praises her publicly. At that moment, Minjin arrives and sees Luong on stage beside Philip, wearing the heels. His face darkens, and he leaves in silence. After the event ends, Luong chases after him. Why did you leave? Are you upset? Minjin looks at her with disappointment. Why did you wear the heels Philip gave you instead of the shoes I bought for you? Luong explains patiently. Philip told me I had to wear them for the event since I'm his assistant. That's all. Still concerned, Minjin kneels to examine her feet. Look, they're swollen. You shouldn't force yourself like this. Luong reassures him softly. It's fine, I'm okay. He sighs and says, let's go home. Just then Philip appears. Elder brother, where are you going? You care more about outsiders than your own family. Minjin's tone hardens. You've stayed away from home for so long, you don't have the right to lecture me about family. Luong is stunned. Wait, are you two brothers? Philip looks directly at her. Didn't my brother tell you? Yes, we are brothers. Minjin quickly adds, and you need to remember, Luong is my girlfriend, your sister-in-law. Philip smirks. No, she's my girlfriend, I'm Tyne Ren. Luong freezes in shock. If you're Tyne Ren, then who is he? Philip explains coldly. He's Minjin, the CEO of the Zhuo Group and my elder brother. He used my name to approach you. Luong turns to Minjin with hurt in her eyes. Is that true? Please let me explain, Minjin pleads. Trust me. But Luong pulls her hand away. At that moment, Minjin's elder sister arrives. She looks at Philip and asks, did you really tell her everything? Philip replies harshly, why shouldn't I? Should she continue living in his lies? He then turns to Luong and says, if I were your boyfriend, I would never deceive you. He was only toying with your feelings. Luong whispers, confused, but why would he approach me at all? I'm just an ordinary girl. Philip answers, you're not ordinary, you're very special to me. I'm serious about you, please give me a chance. Minjin has always stolen everything from me since childhood. Our parents favored him. Our sister gave him everything he wanted. He's always defeated me, but with you I believe I can finally win. Luong remains silent, torn. Philip continues, I won't force you, but promise me you'll stay away from those siblings. Otherwise, you'll only get hurt because of them. Luong gently pulls her hand back and leaves. When she arrives home, she finds Minjin waiting outside with his friends. He tries to stop her, but she walks past him. He and Li follow her inside. Luong, I'm sorry, Minjin pleads. With tears in her eyes, she replies, you lied to me for so long. I didn't even know who my boyfriend really was. Li steps forward to explain. Please understand, Minjin is sick. That's why he kept it from you. He's the CEO of a huge company. If people found out, the company's reputation would collapse. That's why he hid his true identity. Zyro Yu adds, he didn't do anything wrong. He had to protect the company. Luong asks bitterly, so it's my fault then? Am I wrong to be upset? Minjin shakes his head. No, it's my fault. I should never have lied to you. Please forgive me. Zyro Yu then asks in confusion, but wait, if Tyne Ren is your younger brother, how is it that you look younger than him? Minjin explains quietly, it's because of my illness. Li adds, Minjin has a rare condition where his body keeps growing younger every year. Luong asks nervously, and what will happen in the end? Before Minjin can answer, Li quickly interjects, don't worry, he'll just continue to look younger, nothing dangerous. Luong breathes a sigh of relief. Good, I'm glad to know it's not life-threatening. The next day, Luong and Minjin arrive at the office together, holding hands. Their colleagues notice and begin treating her with greater respect once they learn she is the CEO's girlfriend. Bai Bing, however, seethes with jealousy. She secretly calls Minjin's elder sister and complains, Luong has bewitched your brother. They came to the office hand in hand. Everyone is treating her like the boss's wife. But the sister only laughs softly. That's good. Now that my brother has made his relationship public, I don't have to worry about him anymore. Bai Bing, furious, thinks to herself, what kind of magic has this girl used? Even the whole Zhuo family accepts her. I'll have to find a way to expose her true colors. Meanwhile, Luong is busy at work when she receives a call from Minjin. "I'll come pick you up after work," he says. Luong quickly refuses. "Please don't. You're my boss. If you come to get me every day, people will gossip. They already treat me better because of you. If this continues, how will the company function normally?" Minjin chuckles and replies, "Now you really sound like the boss's wife." After finishing work that evening, Lu Feng waited at the bus stop, feeling tired after the long day. As she shifted her weight from one foot to the other, she suddenly felt a sharp pain. Her ankle twisted, leaving her with a sprain. At that very moment, Ming Chen appeared, arriving almost as though fate had timed it. He immediately noticed her discomfort, hurried over, and without hesitation, gently lifted her into his arms. Surprised yet relieved, Lu Feng smiled warmly and said, "It's strange. Whenever I'm in trouble or need someone, you always seem to show up right in front of me." Ming Chen, holding her securely, responded with quiet determination. "I went through so much to have you by my side again. Now that I do, I won't let you get hurt or left alone." He carried her back to her apartment. Once inside, Lu Feng mentioned casually, "Zyro Yu isn't home tonight, and it's getting late. Why don't you stay here instead of going back?" Startled, Ming Chen asked half-jokingly, "Stay here? And what exactly would I do if I stayed?" Lu Feng laughed softly. "Nothing complicated. I simply want to share a drink with you." So the two of them opened a bottle of wine, sitting side by side in the cozy atmosphere of her home. Conversation flowed, and as the evening deepened, Ming Chen leaned closer, their eyes locking. He was just about to kiss her when suddenly the doorbell rang, breaking the mood. Outside, Zyro Yu's familiar knock echoed through the hallway. With no choice, they abandoned the moment, eventually lying down and drifting to sleep without crossing any boundaries. Morning came quickly. By the time they woke, Zyro Yu had already left for her office. Lu Feng prepared a light breakfast, and they sat together sharing the meal in a comfortable silence. Afterward, Lu Feng's phone rang. It was a call from her company. She was asked to come in immediately since an important guest would be visiting that day. Curious, she turned to Ming Chen and asked, "Do you know who this special guest is?" Ming Chen answered, "It's Neon. She's someone I grew up with, more like a little sister than anything else." Hearing this, Lu Feng smiled. "If she's part of your childhood, then she's practically family. I'd better prepare myself properly and behave well in front of your family." Ming Chen kept silent but thought privately, "I should ask her to move in with me soon. Maybe it's time we really lived together." Meanwhile, Neon had just returned from abroad. Her true reason for visiting was Ming Chen himself. She had strong feelings for him and had longed to see him again. At the hotel, Bai Bing noticed how cheerful Lu Feng appeared and questioned her. "Why are you so relaxed? Don't you know a special guest is coming today?" Lu Feng replied calmly, "Of course I know. Neon is arriving." Bai Bing sneered, "You sound so casual, but maybe you don't actually know who she is. Just wait, you'll see. Neon and Ming Chen will soon be engaged, and when that happens, you'll be pushed back to where you came from." Those harsh words unsettled Lu Feng, though she kept her composure. On the other side, Neon called Ming Chen happily, saying, "I just got back, let's go out somewhere together." But Ming Chen, busy with work, replied gently, "You must be tired from traveling. Rest for now, we'll meet another time." He ended the call politely. Later that day, Lu Feng called him instead. "I was getting ready for the event, but Neon never showed up." Ming Chen explained, "She doesn't enjoy crowded places, that's all. Don't misunderstand, she's simply a childhood friend. You're the one who is my girlfriend." Hearing those words, Lu Feng felt reassured and smiled brightly. That evening, Ming Chen's friend Li encouraged him. "Get ready. I'll make sure Lu Feng moves into your place tonight." Coincidentally, Lu Feng went to a wine shop where she happened to meet Neon. The shop owner was overcharging, but Lu Feng skillfully bargained, helping Neon secure a better deal. Impressed, Neon invited her for a meal, and the two shared food and laughter, seemingly on friendly terms. Meanwhile, Li secretly arranged for the electricity in Lu Feng's home to be cut off. When the lights went out, the darkness frightened her, and instinctively she called Ming Chen for help. Suspicious, Ming Chen phoned Li, who shamelessly admitted, "Of course it was me. Take advantage of this chance, invite her to stay at your house." Following Li's suggestion, Ming Chen offered, "Why don't you come stay at my place for now?" Lu Feng hesitated, then packed her things and agreed. That night they had dinner together, the mood warm and intimate. Slowly, their connection deepened, and they shared a kiss for the first time. The next morning, Ming Chen proudly took Lu Feng to meet Neon, introducing her openly, "This is my girlfriend." To their surprise, Lu Feng and Neon recognized one another instantly. They laughed, realizing they had already become friends at the wine shop. However, Neon's warmth soon faded. During the meeting, she directed most of her attention to Ming Chen, reminiscing about their childhood together, while barely acknowledging Lu Feng. Even so, Ming Chen constantly praised Lu Feng, making it clear where his heart lay. Not long afterward, a famous TikToker visited the hotel to taste their wine during a live stream. Bai Bing served her a glass, but after sipping, the influencer frowned and declared to her viewers, "Honestly, I can't recommend this hotel. The wine quality is disappointing." Bai Bing's face turned red with anger. She cut the live stream short, snapping, "Our company's wine is the best. How dare you insult it?" The guest calmly retorted, "I'm only speaking the truth. Your wine has obvious flaws, you should know that." At that tense moment, Lu Feng stepped forward gracefully. She apologized sincerely to the influencer, then tasted the wine herself. "You're right, this wine is indeed poor in quality," she admitted. The guest's mood improved. "If you can identify exactly what's wrong and tell me, I'll consider changing my negative review." After carefully sniffing and tasting, Lu Feng pointed out the exact issue with the wine. The influencer was delighted. "You're extremely talented. How can you still be just a low-level employee? Frankly, I don't understand why someone like Bai Bing is a director while you remain overlooked." Unbeknownst to them, Su Song, the company's vice president and Ming Chen's uncle, overheard. Impressed, he immediately promoted Lu Feng to the same director position as Bai Bing. Lu Feng was stunned by the sudden recognition, while Bai Bing seethed with jealousy. Later, Lu Feng attended a masterclass taught by the esteemed Tyne Ren, who offered to drive her home afterward. Ming Chen, watching from his window, felt a pang of jealousy. When she walked in, she explained, "Philip dropped me off." "I saw him," Ming Chen admitted. Lu Feng teased gently, "Why are you jealous? He's your younger brother, and to me he's like a mentor, a brother figure, don't worry." Relieved, Ming Chen smiled and said, "That's right, since I'm your boyfriend, he's naturally your brother too." They ended the night in each other's arms, sharing their affection freely. The following morning, Lu Feng woke up beaming with happiness, snapping a photo with Ming Chen beside her. At work, her new role as director involved overseeing both wine purchases and sales. She quickly decided to cut ties with the old suppliers and switch to new, cheaper ones. This decision only fueled Bai Bing's bitterness. Soon, Bai Bing and Su Song secretly conspired. They deliberately arranged for poor quality wine to be sent to customers, hoping Lu Feng would take the blame. Their scheme succeeded temporarily. Angry customers stormed the company, accusing it of selling fake wine despite its stellar reputation. Ming Chen's sister apologized to the customers and suspended Lu Feng, saying an investigation was required. At that time, Ming Chen was away on a business trip. Though he called, Lu Feng didn't mention her suspension. His secretary later told him, and Ming Chen flew back immediately, determined to clear her name. Through his investigation, he uncovered Bai Bing's treachery. Summoning her to his office, he demanded, "Why did you frame Lu Feng?" With tears in her eyes, Bai Bing confessed, "Because I love you. I know I don't deserve you, but neither does she. I wanted to teach her a lesson." Furious, Ming Chen shouted, "Lu Feng is my girlfriend. You had no right." Pressing further, he asked, "Who helped you? You couldn't have done this alone." Cornered, Bai Bing admitted, "I was working with your uncle, Su Song. Here's proof, listen to this recording." Ming Chen seized the evidence. Later, alongside his elder sister, he confronted his uncle, leading to Su Song's dismissal from the company. Relieved, he returned home to share the news with Lu Feng. Overjoyed, she embraced him. And the couple decided to take a walk in the park, to celebrate their restored peace. Yet as they strolled, their phones buzzed simultaneously with a shocking notification. An intimate photo of them had been leaked online. Gossip quickly spread, tarnishing Lu Feng's reputation and sparking vicious rumors that she had trapped her wealthy boss. Rushing back to the company, Ming Chen urged her, "Stay outside for now, let me handle this." He demanded his secretary trace the account responsible for posting the photo. But inside the meeting room, his sister coldly declared, "Fire Lu Feng immediately." Ming Chen stood firm. "She didn't leak that photo, she's innocent." But his sister dismissed his pleas, unconvinced. Outside, Lu Feng overheard employees gossiping cruelly. "She doesn't deserve Ming Chen. Neon would be a much better match." Heartbroken, she found Ming Chen and whispered, "I swear I don't know how that photo was exposed. Do you believe me?" Ming Chen looked into her eyes. "Yes, I believe you, but I warned you before, never send private photos to anyone." Wang firmly insists, "I didn't send that photo to anyone." Mingin frowns, still confused, and responds, "Then how did this even happen? Anyway, it's late. You should head home now, I have too much work to deal with." Her heart aching, Luong forces a nod and says quietly, "Okay, boss." She walks away with tears streaming down her cheeks, whispering under her breath, "Why can't I do anything right? Why am I always so helpless?" The following morning, overwhelmed by sorrow, Luong decides to resign. She clears her desk, packs up her belongings, and leaves the house where she had been staying. Before departing, she sends a short message to Mingin. "I'm leaving. This is goodbye for us. Let's end everything here." The moment Mingin reads the message, panic grips him. He rushes to her home and knocks frantically at her door, but there is no reply. Shiru, seeing his desperation, advises, "Let her calm down a little. Forcing her now will only push her further away." Reluctantly, Mingin leaves, but he cannot let it go. He asks his friends to investigate who was really behind the photo scandal. After careful searching, they uncover the truth. Bai Bing is responsible. The suspicious account that uploaded the photo belongs to her. When Mingin's elder sister learns about this betrayal, she fires Bai Bing on the spot. She scolds her harshly. "You acted out of jealousy, and in doing so, you not only ruined Luong's reputation, but also harmed the company's image." Soon after, Mingin goes to see Luong. With guilt in his eyes, he says, "I've solved everything. Bai Bing was the one who posted the photo. This entire mess is my fault, I'm sorry." But Luong shakes her head and replies softly, "It's not your fault. Bai Bing wanted to trap me, and I let you suffer stress because of it. I'm the one who should apologize." Mingin admits, "No, I was rude to you. I pushed you away when I shouldn't have." Feeling drained, Luong says, "There's too big a gap between us. I'm tired of carrying all these problems. I can't do this anymore." She turns to leave. He grabs her arm desperately. "Do you really want to break up with me?" Her answer is cold and steady. "We already have." She walks away, leaving him broken. Later, his friends notice that his condition is worsening. One of them urges, "You need her by your side. Go convince her before it's too late." But Mingin only shakes his head. "I love Luong too much to force her. If she wants freedom, then I must let her have it. Love isn't chains, it's letting the person you care about live without pressure." Some time passes before Lee seeks out Luong. He tells her everything Mingin has done for her behind the scenes. "He trusted you from the very beginning. He even argued with his sister just to protect you. He wasn't searching for the truth for the company's sake. It was always for you." Hearing this, Luong's heart softens. "Then I'll go to him. I'll convince him myself." Together with Mingin's 3 friends, she prepares a surprise. Standing before him, she says, "Now I finally understand how much you care for me and everything you've done in silence. I'm sorry for misunderstanding. Today I have a surprise just for you." She signals to the others. Lee tries to switch on the decorations, but something goes wrong. Sparks fly, and he receives a sudden electric shock. Mingin rushes forward instinctively to protect everyone, but in the chaos, Luong stumbles and falls onto him. Their lips meet by accident in a clumsy kiss. Xiru teases Lee angrily, "You can't even handle one small task properly." Lee protests, "Forget about that, look. The two of them are already closer than before." Blushing, Mingin and Luong get up. She stammers, "I planned all of this as a surprise for you, but everything turned into a disaster. You must think I'm so foolish." He chuckles and replies warmly, "Yes, you are foolish, but you're my foolish girl." Then, without hesitation, he kisses her properly. The next day, Luong meets with Tyne Ren to discuss a new wine project. She cheerfully tells him, "Mingin and I have reconciled." At this, Tyne Ren's expression clouds with disappointment. Luong offers him a sample of her new wine, but he makes a sour face and criticizes it harshly. His words sting, and she goes home disheartened. Later, she shares the same wine with Mingin, who tastes it carefully and praises her, saying, "This is excellent. You've created something truly wonderful." Her face lights up with pride. Eventually, even Tyne Ren accepts her wine. Together, they launch the product, and sales quickly take off. During the celebration party, however, Luong notices something odd. After tasting the wine being served, she realizes it isn't the same as the one she made. Confused, she asks, "Why is this my wine?" Tyne Ren answers casually, "Your wine had a small flaw. I adjusted it a little just to make it more appealing. Look at the results. Your name is famous now, and sales are booming." But Luong feels uneasy. She begins to leave, but Tyne Ren stops her. "Stay and have dinner with me." To her shock, he then proposes, "Will you give me your answer today?" Before she can respond, Mingin storms in and punches him. "Have you forgotten that Luong is my girlfriend?" Furious, Tyne Ren retorts, "You've stolen everything from me since childhood. Must you steal her too?" Luong steps between them. "Stop it, both of you. Tyne Ren, I respect you as my teacher and idol, nothing more." Mingin pulls her away, taking her home. On the way, she scolds him. "You shouldn't have hit him. You both behaved like children. And remember, he is my teacher. That was wrong." Mingin silences her with a kiss. "You're my girlfriend, don't forget that." The next day, Luong, with Mingin by her side, hands Tyne Ren her resignation. She apologizes sincerely, but before he can respond, his assistant rushes in. "The chairman has cancelled our wine deal." Enraged, Tyne Ren storms to his sister, demanding, "First you approved my wine and now you cancel it. Why do you always sabotage me?" His sister asks calmly, "Do you truly care for Luong, or are you only using her to hurt me and Mingin?" Tyne Ren's voice shakes with fury. "You've always favored him. Even when our parents died in the accident, you chose to save only Mingin. You've never been on my side." He storms off, refusing to listen. Mingin comforts his sister, who weeps. "He thinks I abandoned him that day. He doesn't know the truth." Mingin assures her, "Don't worry, I'll talk to him." Meanwhile, Luong decides to create her own wine independently. Mingin and his friends support her dream, helping her start her own company. During this time, Lee and Xiru grow close. One night, after drinking together, they wake up in the same bed. Embarrassed but sincere, Lee confesses, "I've liked you for a long time." Soon after, he proposes to her. Elsewhere, Zhang advises Mingin, "Why don't you marry Luong? It would be perfect for you both." Mingin sighs, "Of course I want to, but she doesn't know the truth, that I can only survive because of her kiss. If I tell her, she might leave me. I'm terrified." Just then, Lee bursts in happily, "I'm going to marry Xiru soon." Mingin and Zhang stare at him in shock. Later, in a company meeting, they discuss a live stream with a guest who backed out at the last moment. Frustrated, Luong says, "I don't like dishonest people. We'll just find another guest." Hearing this, Mingin and his friends exchange worried glances. If Luong despises dishonesty so much, how will she react when she discovers the truth he's been hiding? Privately, they encourage him. "Propose to her, but don't reveal the truth. You'll lose everything if you do." Not long after, Xiru tells Luong excitedly, "I'm getting married to Lee." Their wedding takes place, and everyone celebrates together. During the party, Luong surprises Mingin by kneeling before him with a ring. With hope in her voice, she asks, "Will you marry me?" But Mingin, tormented by the secret he still carries, says nothing. He simply closes the ring box with trembling hands. Luong stares at him in disbelief, her eyes filling with tears. After joking with him, she suddenly throws away the ring and leaves. Mingin, completely shaken and heartbroken, has no idea how to react. Confused and drowning in sadness, he goes out drinking. Coincidentally, Bing is also at the same place. She notices his miserable state, walks up to him and sits by his side. Mingin, drunk and unable to see clearly, mistakes Bing for Lu Feng. In his drunken honesty, he confides everything to her. His illness, the reason he rejected Lu Feng's proposal, and the heavy burdens weighing on him. Bing takes advantage of the moment and helps Mingin back to a hotel. Unbeknownst to them, Lu Feng sees them together and follows in distress. At the hotel, she sees Mingin asleep, unaware of what is happening around him. Bing seizes the chance to twist the truth, telling Lu Feng that Mingin had indeed rejected her because he never intended to marry her. She adds that his company is in serious financial trouble and that he desperately needs support from Neon's business. With cruel satisfaction, she mocks Lu Feng, saying she is glad to see her heartbroken. Unable to bear it, Lu Feng leaves in despair. The next morning, when Mingin wakes up, he finds a farewell letter from Lu Feng. She has already left for her hometown, cutting ties. Mingin calls her again and again, but she refuses to answer. Later, Zhang informs Mingin that Bing had met Lu Feng the night before and likely influenced her decision to leave. Realizing this, Mingin rushes to her hometown to bring her back. His determination pays off, and eventually she agrees to return with him. To prove his sincerity, Mingin organizes a grand event at his company and in front of everyone, publicly proposes to Lu Feng. He declares his love and asks her to marry him. Overwhelmed, she accepts his proposal and they become engaged. Watching this, Bing is filled with anger and jealousy, devastated that her plans failed. From then on, Mingin and Lu Feng's relationship blossoms. He even arranges a dinner with his family, where his sister finally approves of their marriage. Mingin then visits Tian Ren, Lu Feng's brother, to clear long-standing misunderstandings. He hands Tian Ren a photo of the accident involving their family and explains that the number of the traffic police officer present is written on the back. If Tian Ren calls, he will learn the truth. Skeptical, Tian Ren contacts the officer, who reveals everything. In that accident, their parents died and his brother was critically injured. His sister risked her life to save him first. She had even been ready to go back to rescue more, but the officer stopped her just in time as the car was about to explode. Overcome with guilt, Tian Ren realizes he has wrongly accused his sister for years. He rushes to her, apologizes with tears, and she forgives him. Their bond is finally healed. Later, Mingin and Lu Feng prepare for their wedding photoshoot. While waiting with Zyro Yu, Lu Feng is approached by Bi Bing, who cruelly taunts her. Bi Bing tells her she is foolish not to realize that Mingin literally needs her to survive, that without her kisses, he cannot live. Lu Feng, confused, Denny's understanding, but Bi Bing insists she think about it. Then Mingin arrives, apologizing for being late, and they proceed with the photo shoot. However, Bi Bing's words haunt Lu Feng. At home, she recalls every strange moment. When she first met Mingin in the washroom and gave him CPR, how he seemed to recover only after her kiss, how desperately he asked her to sign a contract in the hospital, and how he immediately became her neighbor to stay close. She remembers his eagerness for dates and begins to question everything. Was she just a cure for him? The realization leaves her hurt and unsettled. On the day of their wedding, although everyone else is filled with joy, Lu Feng is deeply troubled. During the ceremony, she asks Mingin whether he has ever lied to her. He firmly denies it, but her doubts overwhelm her, and in a burst of anger, she throws away their photos and storms out, shocking everyone. Mingin, however, understands what must have happened. She has uncovered the truth he tried to hide. At home, Lu Feng breaks down in tears and refuses to speak with him. Mingin sends her a message, telling her there is a letter he once wrote hidden in her house. She finds it and reads the painful confession. At first, their meeting was pure chance, and initially he only wanted to date her to survive his illness. But gradually, without realizing it, he truly fell in love with her. He admits he hid the truth because he feared losing her forever. The letter shatters Lu Feng's heart. When Mingin comes to see her, he forces a kiss on her, but she pushes him away and slaps him. Furious, she asks why he is doing this. Mingin bitterly replies that she hasn't forgiven him yet. He then produces their contract, reminding her of his investments, and coldly says she must return everything if she leaves him. Lu Feng refuses his money and sends him away. Determined to move forward, she begins searching for new investors for her wine business. Despite discouragement from many, she finally secures one. The investor suggests altering her wine to make it more appealing and even encourages her to date someone new for inspiration, but she firmly refuses. Meanwhile, Mingin visits her again, offering to help her company, but with a condition. She must sign another contract, agreeing to kiss him daily so he can survive his illness. Shocked, Lu Feng hesitates, but thinking of his health, she reluctantly agrees. She moves into his house and follows the terms of the agreement. Every morning, she waits for his kiss before leaving for work, but he does nothing. Days pass like this, and Mingin's condition worsens. Eventually, her company stabilizes with the investor's help, and she celebrates with her colleagues. Zhang approaches her privately, pleading with her to love Mingin again. Knowing Mingin is listening, she coldly declares that she hates him and will never forgive him. Zhang desperately explains that Mingin is sick and only she can save him, but Lu Feng refuses to soften her stance. When Zhang brings Mingin into the conversation, she repeats her rejection, breaking his heart. Later, Mingin confides in Tian Ren, telling him he could die at any time. He asks him to take care of the company and also look after Lu Feng once he is gone. Soon after, Lu Feng finds a note from Mingin at home, saying he has left, making a difficult decision for her sake. She breaks down in tears, realizing what he means to her. Not long after, Zhang confronts her again, this time in anger. He tells her she is cruel and blind, unable to see how much Mingin has sacrificed. Finally, he reveals that Mingin is in the hospital in critical condition. Shocked, Lu Feng runs there and sees Mingin fighting for his life. Devastated, she blames herself, but Mingin's sister comforts her. When she asks the doctor if her kiss can cure him, he explains it is not the kiss itself, but the bond of love that helps. Realizing she still loves him, she rushes to Mingin's side, kisses him, and confesses her forgiveness. Mingin regains consciousness, and she promises to spend the next 7 days with him before his treatment abroad. They enjoy those days together, creating precious memories and taking countless photos. Mingin even places a ring on her finger once again, asking her to marry him, and she joyfully accepts. But the next day, when Lu Feng arrives at the hospital, he is gone. He has left behind only a letter. In it, he admits that from the very first day they met, he had feelings for her. If he does not return, she should forget him and live as though he never existed. Reading the words, Lu Feng collapses in grief, vowing she will never forget him. Months pass, she sends countless messages to him, but no reply ever comes. Mingin had already passed away. Alone, she mourns him deeply, regretting that she only realized the depth of his devotion too late. She tells herself she will live the rest of her life in his memory. Visiting the place of their first meeting, she recalls every moment, clinging to their love. In her mind, she sees him again. Mingin appears, smiling warmly, and she runs to him, overwhelmed with happiness. But when she faints and he catches her, leaning in for a kiss, she suddenly realizes the heartbreaking truth. It is only her imagination. The loss has left her with a delusional disorder, where her longing heart continues to create visions of the man she will never forget.